How's it going, everyone? The PlayStation Store is running its Tokyo Game Show sale right now, and there are a lot of great deals, and I'll be highlighting some of the best deals under the price of $10. And while, yes, this is the Tokyo Game Show sale, there's just a lot of deals that I don't think are very aligned with Tokyo Game Show, but who cares? Good deals are good deals, so with that being said, let's get right into it, and let's kick things off with Uncharted the Nathan Drake Collection, which is 50% off for $9.99. You know, I feel like at this point, most of you guys have played the Uncharted trilogy, but given that, you know, there are some of the younger crowd out there that potentially have not played the 3 Uncharted games, given that they are a little bit older. You know, and the PlayStation 3 certainly wasn't this console that everybody picked up. If you have yet to play Uncharted 1 through 3, I would highly recommend you do so. Uncharted 1 absolutely shows its age. It's from that era in 2007 that I feel like spawned so many great franchises. Witcher 1, Mass Effect 1, Uncharted 1, but those games all show their age, and in the case of Witcher 1, it's getting a ground-up remake. Mass Effect 1 got an improved version in the Legendary Edition, but Uncharted 1 still shows its age, but it's still a worthwhile game to go through. Uncharted 2 and Uncharted 3, and really Uncharted 2 for my money, are just phenomenal games. Uncharted 2 is in the pantheon of the greatest video games of all time. I would really put it in that category, and Uncharted 3 is not that far behind. I thought all 3 games were really good, but Uncharted 2 in particular, I just thought was phenomenal. And I think a big reason to that is, like, back in 2009 when we went and played Uncharted 2, it was such a substantial improvement over Uncharted 1 that a bit of that shock factor was just like, oh my god, this game is incredible. Uncharted 3 really didn't have that benefit of coming off the heels of a game that was good but not amazing. Uncharted 3 had to top what was an amazing game. And I wouldn't say that Uncharted 3 topped it, but I would say it was a pretty damn good game in its own right, and definitely a worthwhile trilogy of titles to go through here. With the Uncharted the Nathan Drake Collection, definitely would recommend that. Alright, moving on from that, we've got the South Park video game collection. This is South Park The Stick of Truth and Fractured But Whole. Both really solid RPGs. Stick of Truth was done by Obsidian, who did a phenomenal job with that, and Fractured But Whole was a great game in its own right. Stick of Truth, I remember playing it right when it came out and just being blown away by it on the standpoint of, I don't even know what really possessed me to pick up Stick of Truth, but playing a game that was based on South Park and it also being like just a really competent and mechanically well-made game was a little bit jarring because, you know, it's a South Park game, but at the same time, you've got the humor, but you've also got like a really great RPG under the hood, and it just turned out to be a great experience. To get both games for just $9, I would say this is an excellent pickup, so strongly recommend that. Next up, we do have Descenders, 70% off for $7.49. This is one of those games that I go to whenever I just want like a relaxing, chill game to play. I think Descenders is a damn good time. A biking game where you do some wild tricks, you'll crash out a lot whenever you start up. It's very fast-flowing in the sense that you'll go into a level, you'll have an objective to get yourself an extra life, and you have a certain amount of lives to go through in every run, and you try to make it as far as you can, and it's a pretty addicting game. It's one of those games that has a good soundtrack, but at the same time, if you just want to play it while listening to a podcast, watch a show, I feel like it's pretty enjoyable on that end as well. And for $7.49, a pretty good pickup for that. Next up, we got Ratchet Clank 2016, 50% off for $9.99. Surprisingly, this game is not available on PlayStation Plus Extra or Plus Premium, but for $9.99, I would say it's very much well worth a pickup. It is a reimagining of the very first Ratchet & Clank game and an enjoyable action platformer to go through. If you know what Ratchet & Clank is all about, that action, the zaniness, it is absolutely there, and it's there in spades. Very good visuals as well, and an enjoyable game start to finish. Not super lengthy, but a worthwhile game nonetheless. For $9.99, great pickup there for sure. Next up, we got a game that I constantly go to bat for, and that is Sleeping Dogs. We've got the definitive edition here, 83% off for $5.09. Awesome open world action game. A lot of people will say, oh, it's Grand Theft Auto in Hong Kong. It is so much more than that. Yes, does it have a focus on crime, and does it have a grittiness to it? Yes, but I would say the grittiness to Sleeping Dogs actually sets it apart from the Grand Theft Auto games. It's a little bit more mature in tone and a little bit more serious in tone as far as the story. The combat very much has more of a focus on the hand-to-hand combat. And I gotta say, the soundtrack to Sleeping Dogs, one of the most underrated gaming soundtracks that you can come across. I thought the soundtrack was just awesome. For $5.09, definitely a good pickup, would give that a recommendation. Next up, we've got Code Vein, 90% off for $5.99. Great price on Code Vein, anime-esque Souls-like, which I get it, the Souls-like games at this point, I feel like the genre has been done to death. We are coming up on the release of Code Vein 2 early next year, but that game is going to be $70, and honestly, I don't know how many people are going to be jumping out of their seat to spend $70 on the game. Like, I liked Code Vein, and you guys know me, I'm a sucker for the anime aesthetic, and I certainly will play Code Vein 2. It's just, I know that $70 price tag is going to be a bit of a barrier, but you know what? Code Vein 1 is here for $5.99, and I do think that's quite a good pickup, so I would definitely give it a recommendation at that price. Next up, we have Ender Lilies Quietus of the Night, a Metroidvania here with a very, very dark aesthetic. Long ago, in the distant reaches of Land's End, an unforeseen rainfall transformed all living things into frenzied, undead monstrosities known as the Blighted. Faced with a calamity far beyond their understanding, the kingdom fell into ruin with no end to the accursed rain in sight. Unravel the mystery of the kingdoms destroyed by the rain of death, and journey through the sprawling and hauntingly beautiful Land's End, traversing a submerged forest, a sealed-off contaminated underground cavern, and a grand castle. Formidable bosses await that'll gladly claim your life even with the slightest chance. Defeat these powerful foes and release them from their unending curse to recruit them as allies, overcome the challenges before you, and search for the truth with powerful knights at your side. Meanwhile, in the remnants of this devastated land, a young woman named Lily awakens in the depths of a church. Enter Lily's Quietus of the Night, 60% off for $9.99. Go ahead and check that out if you want a darker tone Metroidvania. Next up, we've got Judgment, 75% off for $9.99. I absolutely love Judgment, and I think it's a great game to start off playing the RGG games. That obviously being Ryuga Gotoku Studio, the developers of Yakuza. The reason being is that this is a game that, unlike playing Yakuza, like if you start off with Yakuza 0, you kind of got it in your head, oh my god, I'm going on this vast journey with all of these Yakuza games. Well, Judgment doesn't have a billion games. It's literally Judgment and Lost Judgment, and Judgment alone is kind of its own standalone story that you can enjoy. Lost Judgment is great, but Judgment story, I would put it at top tier as far as all of the games Ryuga Gotoku Studio has put out. The combat is great, the main character is super likable, and yeah, definitely would recommend it at $9.99, and that is for the PS5 version. Definitely a good pickup there. Next up, we've got Catherine Full Body Edition, 80% off for $7.99. I played Catherine when it initially came out back in, like, I want to say it was 2011, 2012. Had a great time with the game back then. When they announced Full Body, I was excited, but I knew, okay, the $50 price tag was a little bit hefty. Now, to be fair, they did add new content, a new playable route, and, you know, at this point, for $7.99, I think this game is great. Very, very zany, very wacky. Definitely not going to be for everyone, but if you want something a little bit out there, I think Catherine's a pretty good time, and for $7.99, a good pickup there. Wasn't crazy about the puzzle gameplay, but I went into it more so for the story, and I thought that was really well done. Next up, we got Biomutant, 75% off for $9.99. Look, I was so excited going into the release of Biomutant. My expectations of the game were probably way too high. Hearing that it was this brand new open world game done by this new studio, Experiment 101, who had developers that worked on, you know, Just Cause and whatnot. I was like, wow, this has a lot of potential, and unfortunately, there were some shortcomings to the game. However, I still think there's some fun gameplay. I think the open world is incredibly vibrant and colorful, and for it being a post-apocalyptic open world title, I think that was a nice change of pace, and I thought the gameplay was pretty fun, all things considered. Narratively, nothing to write home about, and some of the absolutely worst narration to a video game I think I've ever played. Yeah, it's awful on that end. And if you do want to mute it, listen to a podcast and play the game, I think that's a decent way to go about Biomutant. But overall, for $9.99, I do think it's a good pickup. Next up, we got OKAMI HD, 50% off for $9.99. Love OKAMI, and I think it's a game that's aged very, very gracefully. Even at this point, being, I want to say 20 years old. Yeah, I want to say Okami came out in 2005 or 2006, so it's been quite a while. 2006, so it'll be 20 years old come April, which is crazy, but we're finally getting an Okami 2. I think Okami is great. Love the watercolor aesthetic. Again, I think the game has just aged really gracefully, and, you know, it doesn't hold your hand all that much, but I still think it's a worthwhile game to go through, and for $9.99, good pickup there. Planet of Lana is $7.99, a game that was really, really well received. Key features note: unique companion-based gameplay, solve puzzles with diverse challenges and quirky twists, carefully navigate dangerous situations using stealth and wit, use your reflexes and survive challenging action sequences, discover an epic story that stretches across galaxies and centuries. All of that is available for $7.99. And lastly, Watch Dogs, the complete edition, 80% off for $5.99. It's always wild talking about Watch Dogs now, 11 years after its release. I remember the lead up to Watch Dogs and when the game was initially revealed in 2012 and 2013. It had so much hype, so much anticipation, and people really thought it was going to be an Assassin's Creed level IP. I thought that as well, and I remember being blown away when I initially saw the game. Unfortunately, it never really amounted to that, and Watch Dogs certainly had its issues. I actually did a playthrough of this game, another playthrough, not too long ago, and I had a pretty good time with it. Like, I thought the optional activities with all the towers, all of that was pretty fun. I wasn't crazy about the story, and I know some people like the main character. I thought the main character was super cringe, but nonetheless, $5.99 for the complete edition. Check it out if you want an open world game with a lot to do. And I think fundamentally, thematically, and the style of games that Watch Dogs was going for, it's pretty unique in a lot of instances. It does, you know, fall into that Ubisoft criteria of open world game with a lot of markers and go do this, that, or the other, or you can just rush through the main story. But I thought it was a decent time, all things considered, and $5.99, not a bad pickup for that for sure. But that is gonna do it for me. Again, a lot of great deals as a part of the Tokyo Game Show sale over on the PlayStation Store. Check it out for yourself. That'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. As always, sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.